All right, thanks very much, Lita Poulsen. Well, I've been promising all morning that we were going to be talking about parts of Montreal that maybe you're not familiar with. You know, Montreal, as you know, has a reputation for its nightlife, its fine dining, and for its joie de vivre. Well, our next guests know another side to this great city. Brothers John David and Christian Gravenor have written a book called Montreal, the Unknown City. It's the ultimate urban travel guide that promises to give tourists a reason to visit and residents a reason to stay. I'd like to thank you both very much for coming in this morning.
Thank you. Pleasure.
First of all, tell me, you know, how it is that the two of you brothers came to put this book together.
Well, maybe you take that one away.
Well, I mean, I've got the looks and he's got the brains, or
okay.
the other way around.
So we just talked to John David then, is that?
Yeah, exactly.
You'll just be the brawn?
Yeah, I'll be sitting behind him.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Christian's been on the scene for about 17 years doing writing on Montreal. I've been a book critic mostly on the National and at the Gazette. And so Christian came to me for the research and photography side and to do some of the chapters. But meanwhile, Christian had been approached by the Vancouver publishers, Arsenal Pulp.
Arsenal, which is, so this is part of the first time really that this urban travel guide has, you know, come to eastern part of Canada.
They've got 5 in all, and this is the first time they've come east. And I must say they're Vancouverites, so they're kind of alone over there, the other side of the mountains, and they really needed some guidance on the city, and they came to the right place.
Well, they certainly did, because in flipping through the book and in reading it, not only is it a great travel guide, it also does give you great insight into parts of the city that we may not know. How did you do your research?
Well, let me jump in here. I personally have been laying a night, can't even sleep, thinking about stories, the absolute ultimate Montreal stories.
Right.
What are the secrets of the city, as the book implies? And it's like, for the last 5 years, I've been writing a column for the Mirror, and it's basically, this is my drug, you know, it's my crack cocaine. I want to know the stories of what's going on. You know? This is so. Whenever I found a good one, I'd write it down and put it aside. And
City archives, public archives, private archives, schools, internet, tips. We have stories no one's told us. We have, William Shatner gave us a private story.
The stories that you hear when you're a kid and you kind of forget, and you say, well, remember that our dad told us a story in the backseat of the car? What was that? And so we really dug those stories up and we fleshed them out and figured what they were. And
double-checked them.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, you got to double-check. Let's talk about some of your favorites. I understand that there's something pretty impressive that you found out about the Sun Life building downtown. Who would like to talk about that one?
I'll jump in here. The Sun Life building was built in 1908, biggest building in the whole, Commonwealth. And 1940, Winston Churchill wanted to, you know, he was scared of the Germans attacking, invading, taking over. So he brought the whole fortune of the British Empire over on a boat at great danger because of the German U-boats. And they reinforced the base, but nobody at the time knew that this was happening, of course. And so for a while there, we were really poised on the brink of becoming this, you know, holding the whole treasure of the British Isles. And it's like, yeah, that's a story maybe some people might have heard, but we got all the details, and there's hundreds and hundreds of stories like that in the book. Well, dozens anyway.
Well, 150 pictures, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Leonard Cohen, because I don't know if you know this, but I'm a big fan of Leonard Cohen, and I read a couple bits. For example, you've explained the song Suzanne, and what else did you learn about Leonard?
Yes, well, there's the church down just east of Bon Secours Market, Bon Secours Church. You can go up there, and that's the Lady of the Harbor he refers to. But also, Christian found other stories about Leonard Cohen.
We had a funny story about him with a gun. He gave a pistol, a real live working gun, to a friend who had self-destructive tendencies for his own particular poetic reasons. And that's a kind of crazy story we put in there. And there's, of course, the enduring question of where exactly this place where Suzanne down by the river, that whole thing. And we really poked around these questions because, yeah, this is the guy. People, the Scandinavians, they come outside his house to stand there staring at it. It's like, that's where Leonard Cohen is.
we got his house there, a picture of it and everything.
Well, yes, and I've stood outside it many a time. I'm disappointed to learn that he doesn't really stay there too
long.
And it was Michel Pagliaro, I think you say in the book, who lived there following Leonard Cohen.
Yeah, that's our value added. We take the stories that people sort of know, but we add, throw other stuff that you didn't know for sure. So.
Well, there's so many other stories, and unfortunately too many to mention here, but about people and places, and also it is on top of these fabulous stories, a great travel guide with restaurant tips and all kinds of suggestions. I'd like to thank you both very much for coming in this morning. John David and Christian Gravenor, who have written this. Is this the first? Are you going to collaborate again on a book together?
Oh, for sure, guaranteed. But this is the one to get, though. You'll be happy. You won't regret getting this.
All right, so you weren't just the looks.
Yeah, well, there we go.
We've got 4 of these to give away. If you'd like to have one, all you have to do is fax us at 590-4060. The code word this morning is mystery, and we'll be back after this.
Closed captioning is brought